Huh? Hello, it's actually quite a hot day, quite humid, and I'm drinking hot tea. Sorry, probably should have started with my introduction. Hello and welcome to my studio. I'm Noemi from Pigeon Art, and today is actually going to be another sort of behind the scenes studio vlog. I know I've just had one, but there's been a lot going on in my studio, and I was actually doing a whole heap of organising, decluttering and stuff, and then I realised, why haven't I filmed any of this? This would have been good. If you're wondering why I'm so shiny, it's quite hot. It's now the weekend after Black Friday, so I have gone a little bit crazy over Black Friday and I have bought myself some art supplies, heavily discounted art supplies, otherwise I would never have spent that kind of money on them. I've decided it means that it's time for me to get rid of some lower quality art supplies. What I ended up buying was the Prismacolor 150 pencil set, pencil sharpener, whole heap of paper, canvases, yeah, a couple more things. So they haven't arrived yet because I only ordered them on Friday. But I decided it'd be time to get rid of some really low quality pencils that I used to use. I actually rarely used. Crappy paper here that I just bought, but tried to use it, and it's just watercolor paper is such an investment, but it makes such a difference when you're using watercolors. So yeah, would never have used it. So what am I going to do with the things that I'm decluttering? I've contacted one of my neighbours. This is how I know her. She's picked up a few things from Marketplace before, Facebook Marketplace before. She'd asked me when she picked up a few other things if I had anything for kids, because she's got some foster children coming to stay with her. If she's not interested, I will probably contact some schools, see if they would like them for free. Like, I don't want any money for them. I've had them since I was a kid, so some of them. Yeah, and I will be donating those oil pastels as well at the same time. And like a couple of other things that I've found that I will never use. Looks like I need to vacuum in here and tidy up some more. So these are the things that I am donating. Cards, some random paper. That's just empty. This is a book that taught me how to use graphite pencils. And then a pencil case from Emirates from when I was traveling. These graphite with a hint of color. And then all these watercolor pencils. And then these that I used in a previous video, which were just not for me. I should have a better camera for filming after Christmas. Luke's already told me that he's buying me a second-hand phone, but a newer one than this one. I'm currently using my iPhone 8 phone. So I think this one's going to be an 11. So it should be a little bit better quality. I'm still going to use the front-facing camera because I just don't have a way of seeing myself, making sure I'm in shot or I'm recording while using the back-facing camera. But that'll be after Christmas, so next year you should see an improvement in my filming quality. Also, while I'm talking about cameras, I've started an account with Redbubble, and I'm just waiting on the new phone to get some photos to upload the designs to Redbubble. If you're interested in giving me a little bit of support, hopefully by early next year there'll be stuff in my on my Redbubble store. I'll add a link to my store once it's all set up and got some designs in the description. So if you're watching this in 2023, that's probably down there now. What else? Okay, this is what I wanted to talk about. So earlier this year, I made a challenge to myself that I was not going to buy any more art supplies, craft supplies, sewing supplies, just because I have so much here and I didn't want to add to it. I wanted to start depleting my stock before I start buying more. Now, obviously that didn't go well with art supplies. Art supplies don't take up as much room, for example, as fabrics and yarns, which were my biggest issue. I have bought a lot of art supplies that I shouldn't have. I bought some gesso, Copic markers that were heavily discounted as well. I also bought my sketchbooks. These are all things I bought during the year. Art supplies fail. It was a fail. But again, like I said, it doesn't take up much room. And I also obviously spent some money on Friday on more art supplies. So, but I haven't bought any yarn all year, and my stash went from one huge box plus a half smaller box of yarn, and I have now managed to fit it into 2 tiny boxes. This is the enormous box that my knitting yarn and stuff used to live in. It was full, plus half of this box on the bottom had some yarn in it as well. Now all of my yarn, excluding a couple of balls like that one in the front, fits in here, which is just a huge improvement. It was a big relief. So I will try and keep all of my yarn to fit in that from now on. I'm going to need to use up more yarn before I buy anything more, or if I buy yarn, I need to use it all up in one project. That's the plan anyway. We'll see how it goes. This is a real behind the scenes. This is actually what it looks like right now because I haven't tidied it up. But this used to be where those boxes, those containers used to live. And it was always such a pain to try and get things out of there because there's such a small opening here that you can't get close to the boxes. And yeah, I used to hate having to get in there for my yarn. Now I've put my mannequin on there, my dressmaker's mannequin. As I don't use it very often, I will only pull it out when I need it. I think it'll be fine there. Okay, so I've now given this space a tidy up. This is where I plug in my sewing machine, and the box, that huge box, used to be here in the way. Now I can just easily reach it. That will be awesome. I'm glad that's done. My fabric, I did end up buying some fabric, but that was because I wanted to do some pajamas and I didn't have the fabric for winter pajamas, and I was sure I was going to get to it this winter because I was desperate for some winter pajamas. And in my mind it was like, well, I could go to the shops and buy winter pajamas that are already made, or I could buy this fabric and make them myself, and that'd be sort of the same thing. But it turns out I haven't made them yet. That is a plan for next year. That is a plan for 2023. So yeah, that's how I went with that little challenge. I really did achieve something with my yarn, let's be honest. Oh, I forgot to turn on the lights. I decided it's Christmas, right? Sure, let's get it Christmassy. There we go. I don't even know if you can see them. Yeah. So you may have noticed I haven't mentioned acrylic paints in the things that I bought on Black Friday. That's because they're a big investment. I mean, the colored pencils were a big investment too, but I know that Prisma colored pencils are really good quality, and I just don't know. I feel like I need to do more research on what professional acrylic paints I want to get and what colors I want to get. So I'm not sure if I should go with the 2 color wheels that artists get taught about, which is the blue, red, yellow, or the magenta, cyan, yellow. Or I could go the colors that Bob Ross used in all his videos, which were 12, I think. There were 12 different ones that he used. This is what's going on in my head when you're talking about $20 to $30 per 100 mil of paint. You know, it's something you want to be really sure about. So I'm going to wait, and I'm going to save some more money once I've done a fair bit of research and I'm feeling comfortable with it. And if they come up on sale again, I may go for it. My other option is to go for a student quality paint, which would still be a step up to what I was using, because I was just using the reject shop ones, you know, dollar shops ones. But I'm just worried that I'm going to get to a level past that too quickly before I get to finish them. Maybe I'm overestimating my abilities to learn how to use acrylic paint. But I'm just trying to do what makes most sense in the long run. And maybe it doesn't make sense to use professional quality paints while you're still learning. And maybe I should go through the student quality paint first. So this basically is why I haven't bought acrylic paints. So I'm going to be continuing with my acrylic paints. So in addition to what I was saying about the acrylic paints, I still have quite a few canvases left, which are the really cheap ones. It seems like a waste to use professional paints on cheap canvases like that. So my plan is to continue using my old crappy paints on these canvases, and hopefully by the time I buy more paints, I will have finished all these canvases and we can start making acrylic paintings with professional paints and good canvases. If you watched my last behind the scenes video and you're wondering where on earth is this knitting video, I promise you will see it before the end of 2023. It's just taking so much longer than I expected. So hoping next week. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed this video, and if you did, feel free to give it a like. It really helps me out. I upload most Sundays with art, DIY and sewing videos, and I hope to see you then. Bye!